Hi again, people, and good morning. I want to do a little mini lesson with you on a life skill right now. This morning, my husband's button on his shirt fell off, and as I was sewing it back on, I realized this is a life skill that a lot of people don't have, that you probably need. So, this little bitty mini lesson is about how to sew a button onto clothes. You can always depend on somebody else to do it. So, if you were really sewing a button on, first you would need a button, a needle, and some thread that matches the button or comes pretty close. But since these are really small, I'm going to put those aside. I am going to use some massive buttons and a big needle and yarn to show you what I'm doing. All right, so we have, I already threaded the yarn on this one. I usually pull the thread all the way through so that I have a double thread like almost all the way down. The purpose of this is just to make it a little bit easier. It's a little bit less work to do it this way. Doesn't mean you have to. All right, so I take the end and I tie a little knot through it. Now I have a little knot. Does it matter what kind of knot it is at the end? No, not really, as long as it catches on the fabric so you don't pull this all the way through. That's the only purpose of the knot, is to keep you from pulling the thread all the way through and having to start over. All right, my lovely assistant who has my 2-hole button is coming here. Okay, she's going to hold this up. When you are sewing a 2-hole button onto a piece of fabric, you start, doesn't matter which one you start with, start from the back and you pull it through until you hit that knot. Oh, I just hit the knot. And then you go down on the, first you drop the needle, then you go down on the other side until it's snug. And then I'm going to go, I usually do 3 or 4 loops. There's 2, 3, and 4. Oh, my knot just came through there a little bit. And 4. Now then, usually when I'm done, the back doesn't have to look too neat, but I take the needle and I go down and pull it through, and then I'm ready to cut what's left. Ta-da, we have our button. Okay, is that the absolute only way to sew on a button? No, but it's a good way. There are several right ways. This is one of them. If your mom taught you a different way, you can do it her way. It's not going to offend me. Now then, what if you say, wait a minute, my button has 4 holes in it? Ah! Rule number 1, don't panic. Thank you, Vanna. Let me get my other assistant over here with my 4-hole button while I put some new yarn into my needle. Always keep the needle still, move the yarn or the thread. Again, I am pulling this basically all the way through until they're almost even at the ends. There we go. And I start by making a knot at the end of my yarn. Okay, so I've got my knot. Now then, we have our 4-hole button here. Does it matter which one you start with? No. Pick a hole, any hole. I pull it through till I hit that knot. Now then, am I going to go straight across? Can you, and it still holds onto your fabric? Yeah, you can, but we're going to use an X pattern. You know the letter X? We're going to make the letter X. I'm going to go to the diagonal hole, the opposite. And then on the back, now I'm going to go to the side. This is the back side, guys, so it doesn't matter what it looks like. I go right next to it. So there you go. I come back up and come over here, and ta-da, I've made my X. Now then, I'm going to make an X again, same thing. I go up and over, over, and down. Oops. There we go. I've made a double X. Can I do it again? Sure, why not? I'm going to go over here. As long as you don't come back up through the same hole you just went down through, you're okay. So I'm going to go down here, back up here, hold it up there, and last time back through here. This is what the front of your button looks like. This is what the back probably looks like. And that's cool. That's okay. I'm going to do the same thing again like I did with the other button. I'm going to take my yarn and I'm just going to slip it through the back, just a little bit extra hold, and then I'm ready to cut my yarn right at the needle. And there we go. Messy back side, but look at that front side. So now you have two different ways to put a button back onto a piece of clothing, or really anything else. So there you go. Thank you to my assistants. You guys hold those. All right.
You gave me that.
And doesn't matter which one I gave you. You can trade. There you go. Hopefully this has been a useful little lesson for you. If you get bored, go grab some buttons and thread and needle and practice sewing buttons onto things. It's a great life skill to have. I'll be trying to post a few more life skills mini lessons up here, and hopefully you'll find it enjoyable and useful. Bye.